Hello, I'm Stella Nordhagen, and I'll be presenting today on food environments in artisanal gold mining areas of rural Guinea. And I'm presenting today on behalf of a large study team led by Helen Keller International with the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health and Julius Nyerere University of Can-Can, Guinea. And I'd like to thank the many students who have contributed to the research over the years, as well as our funders, the Drivers of Food Choice Competitive Grants Program. Now, before getting into details, an important question to ask is, what is artisanal gold mining? The World Bank estimates that artisanal mining occurs in 80 countries, supporting approximately 100 million people. Artisanal mining, as practiced in Guinea, as shown in this photo, is done informally on a fairly small scale by individuals or groups of individuals, in this case focusing on gold. Typically, a borehole is dug up to 40 meters deep, and somebody goes down to dig up gold ore. People on the surface help carry that up using buckets. Typically, this is a task done by women in Guinea. And then the gold is washed by hand to separate out the gold from the remaining rock. Again, this is often done by women. And at the end of the day, miners earn what they find in gold. Artisanal mining supports about 12% of the population of Guinea. However, the areas that are the richest in mineral wealth tend to be among the poorest in nutrition outcomes. It was this paradox that was motivating our Drivers of Food Choice study. The study took place in 18 mining sites and associated villages and camps in Can-Can region of Guinea, shown in the map at the top right. We used a multi-phased approach in which one phase of data collection informed the next and allowed us to modify our areas of inquiry over time. The different methods used included observations, cross-sectional survey, in-depth interviews with various types of respondents, market surveys, and stakeholder consultations. And today I'll be presenting a high-level overview of some of our results, organizing these according to the food environment framework as presented here. First, to consider food availability and accessibility. We found that miners in these areas generally get little or none of their main foods from their own production. Only about 16% of mining households have access to food from gardens, and 60% from production of field crops. In contrast, mining sites host numerous mobile vendors of prepared foods, as well as basic cafes, as shown in these pictures. The food outlets available to serve mining sites include open-air markets and small shops and kiosks. Basic ingredients like rice, oil, or sugar are generally available across all markets, as are some more nutritious foods like fish or egg. However, many different types of vegetables, fruits, and animal source foods cannot be found in all markets, such as in the small market shown at the left. In contrast, there's widespread availability of processed packaged products, things like pasta, soft drinks, and candies, as well as prepared ready-to-eat foods. Next, considering price and affordability. With regard to price, we found that prices are often high for a number of nutritious options at mining sites, particularly when these are compared to processed foods and low-nutrient staples. Often, prices at mining sites are higher than those in town. However, we found that affordability was generally a more important determinant of food choices than was price. Miners are dependent on highly variable earnings, which depend on how much gold they find in a given day. This extreme day-to-day income variability led to considerable variation in food choices, as shown in the quote here. Sometimes you can spend the entire day without finding anything, and if you don't find anything, you can't eat. As such, consumers and vendors need to be able to develop coping strategies to smooth their food consumption amid variable incomes. This influenced some of the food properties and vendor properties that we observed at the site. We found that there are often many food vendors who are largely similar in terms of their food offerings and their prices. Vendors thus try to distinguish themselves and attract customers by offering credit to accommodate their variable incomes. Vendors also emphasize their hygiene and food safety, such as by having a clean table or clean clothes, because food safety was a widespread concern at the sites. Advertising and promotions are almost entirely absent, but individual vendors did offer incentives, such as gifts, to attract or retain clients in the competitive market. Most of the foods sold at the mining sites are ready to eat and available quickly. Most are cheap, or they're sold in a range of different sizes at different prices, again to accommodate the highly variable incomes. And we found that most snack options are high in refined sugars and low on micronutrients or protein, as shown in the examples here at left. Finally, to discuss desirability and convenience. In the mining sites, time is money. There's a heavy weight placed on quick, convenient foods while mining. Miners tended to prefer vendors who were located right nearby so that they could spend more time mining and less time eating. Desirability also reflected a wish for more energy to mine, driving miners to consume products like instant coffee and energy drinks, which they perceived as giving them more success at mining. In addition, perceived food safety was a key concern driving desirability, given the mine's very unclean environment. The idea of clean food was closely related to healthy food, particularly for young children, and this motivated miners' choices, as illustrated by the quote here. "The vendor I trust, it's because she's clean. It's not that I like her, it's the cleanliness." So, in conclusion, in examining the food environments in artisanal mining areas of Guinea, we found them to be dynamic and diverse, reflecting an interplay of consumer needs and vendor responses, such as vendors offering credit to overcome variable incomes. However, these food environments are generally not conducive to healthy diets for either adults or the children who are often present at these sites. There is thus an urgent need to develop programmatic and regulatory strategies to improve these food environments and deliver essential nutrition interventions to mothers and children who need them. Thank you.